introduce this graphic which represents some items. We'll discuss concepts supporting the creation of orders. After you complete this lesson, you'll be able to explain how orders work for different types of items. You'll also be able to track an order through the different stages of fulfillment using the order management work area. Our first topic is an overview of creating orders flow. With each lesson, we've introduced this graphic which represents the wide range of functionality provided by the order-to-cash flow. Each topic touches on these functions, including upstream and downstream integrated applications. In this lesson, we focus on the type of items and the respective types of data that can be included on sales orders. At the beginning of this course, you were introduced to the Oracle Modern Best Practice, Fulfillment Orchestration to Invoice. The OMBP enhances order fulfillment efficiency, manages sales order and shipping transactions, improves cash flow through timely invoicing and payment processing, and strengthens customer satisfaction with transparent and accurate billing processes. Some of the process steps of this OMBP are configured throughout the lessons within this course. For a complete breakdown of each step, please review the Introduction to OMBP for Order Management topic. This lesson provides a better insight into the scheduled orders subprocess. Specifically, you will learn key features and related setups of item types supported by order management, as well as the type of information that is captured in specific regions and attributes of a sales order. The outcome of these configurations include optimized business processes such as establishing additional benefits to a customer sales order through the inclusion of a service item such as a warranty to cover a product on the order, and supporting the creation of configurable products on a sales order to accommodate customers' needs for a tailored product. This diagram shows that entering orders and importing orders are both part of the overall capture orders process. In the capture orders area, you can either enter orders or import them. When you enter an order, you create the order, add order lines, and price the order. From there, both entered orders and imported orders move into the transform order step. You may want to consider giving certain users view-only access to sales orders so that they can get the information that they need without having the ability to create any changes. For this, custom roles can be created in the Security Console with the appropriate functions Security Policies, Data Security Policies, Database Resources, and Role Hierarchy to provide view-only access. The Manage Data Access for users task can then be used to restrict view access by business units. In our next topic, we'll go over the different types of items that Order Management Cloud supports. In the Product Information Management work area, you'll define your items. A standard item is an item that isn't defined as configurable. A configurable item is any item that can be built or assembled in a way that matches what the customer wants. A service item is a non-physical item that you sell, and it can include several types. A coverage item is a service item, such as a warranty, that you associate with another item. The item that receives the added benefit is called the covered item. Coverage is returned automatically only when the return is created using the user interface or when the return is created through import and the item is priced using Oracle Fusion Pricing. A subscription item is an item defined as a subscription in the Product Information Management work area. A subscription item can be sold on its own, or it can be a covered item. If it is a covered item, you can also attach coverage to it. Our next topic is item definition. In the Product Information Management work area, you manage the attributes for each item. The attributes that are specific to Oracle Order Management appear on the Item Organization, Sales and Order Management page. These settings control how the item is processed in order management. Some capabilities require additional setup, such as shipment tolerances and return tolerances. If you want order scheduling to use the item during orchestration, you need to select either MPR Planning or MPS Planning in the Planning Method field under Specifications and Planning. To get there, go to the Navigator, select Product Manager, open Product Information Management, and then choose Task and select Manage Items. Although a lot of order management information is set on the Item Organization, Sales and Order Management page, some settings are configured in other parts of the item definition. For example, you specify a substitute item on the Relationships tab. You can also link a customer item to an Oracle item, which lets you use the customer item attributes to represent the customer's item. For step-by-step guidance, see Set up Customer Items for Order Management in the Help Center. When you define a coverage item, you need to select an appropriate sales product type, such as extended warranty, software maintenance, preventative maintenance, or service level agreement. You also need to set the service duration type, service duration, and period on the Service tab under the item organization. When you define a subscription item, you select a sales product type as subscription. You also set the service duration type, service duration, and period on the Services tab under Item Organization. Finally, if you want order scheduling to use the item during orchestration, you must select either MPR Planning or MPS Planning in the Planning Method field under Specifications and Planning. Now, we'll discuss ordering one of the most common types of items, a standard item. Here's a few basic facts about standard items. This type of item isn't configurable. It can be a covered item, and it can be shipped or not shipped. Charges for the item can be one-time or recurring. Billing can also be set up as one-time or recurring. Next, we'll talk about ordering a configurable item on a sales order. In this topic, we'll look at configurable items, including how you order them and how pricing works. A configurable item is defined in the Product Information Management work area, and it becomes configurable when you order it with specific characteristics or options. Pick-to-order or PTO, items in assemble-to-order or ATO, items are common examples of this. Configurable items can have either a one-time charge or a recurring charge. They can also be billed once or at a recurring basis. In addition, you can attach coverages to a configurable item, such as an extended warranty. For example, when a customer orders a tablet computer, they can choose from a range of options like storage, size, color, or connectivity. To start configuring the model, you create an order, select the model, and then choose Configure and Add. This opens the first page of options. The configurator runtime then displays the configuration pages for that item based on your setup and preferences. You define these configurator runtime settings in configurator models in the product management work area. Here's an example of a referenced model. Imagine a car model that includes an engine with its own configurable choices, such as the number of cylinders or whether it's turbocharged. In this setup, the engine is a child model of the car, and it's considered a referenced model. If a model includes referenced models, you need to drill down into the user interface to configure each referenced model. If your configurator model references a large number of child models, Oracle Configurator may take longer to start. To help reduce startup time, you can enable a placeholder item for an option class in Product Information Management. Also, if the model doesn't include any user-defined attributes or supplemental attributes, Configurator Runtime won't try to load them into memory at runtime, which can further improve performance. When you price configurable items or models, users can see real-time pricing while they configure the item. You define the pricing for configured items in Oracle Fusion Pricing. During runtime, Order Management calls the pricing engine so that it can display accurate pricing. As users make selections, item prices are shown, and the review page displays both the prices and the overall totals. Our next topic is ordering a service item. Your customers can order several related item types. A covered item is any item that you enable for contract coverage in the Product Information Management work area, such as a computer or a car. A coverage item is an item you define to provide a coverage for a covered item, like a service agreement or warranty. When you set up a coverage item, you map it to a sales product type such as extended warranty, software maintenance, service level agreement, or preventative maintenance. A subscription item is an item defined as a subscription in the Product Information Management work area. It can be sold as a standalone item or set up as a covered item, and when it's a covered item, you can attach coverage to it, such as for cloud subscription. When you capture orders for coverage and subscription items, Order Management records the contract start date and end date within a timestamp. If you enter the start date along with the duration and period, Order Management calculates the contract end date. If you enter the start and end dates, Order Management calculates the duration and period, and those values then drive pricing. When you integrate Oracle Subscription Management with Oracle Order Management, you can use Order Management to manage the full order-to-cash flow for subscriptions. You can fulfill a single sales order that includes a physical item along with coverage or subscription, such as an extended warranty, a service level agreement, or preventative maintenance. You can also negotiate pricing and add pricing terms to the contract so that the price can change at a specific point during the contract. If needed, you can negotiate a rate plan for an entire line. Order Management also lets you create coverage lines where the covered product is an existing asset in Fusion Assets Management. You can renew both coverages and subscriptions. As fulfillment progresses, Order Management can send revenue data to Oracle Revenue Management to support revenue recognition. Here are a few scenarios to keep in mind. In the first scenario, your company sells a mobile phone subscription plan along with a phone that the plan will cover. You can use Order Management to orchestrate fulfillment so that the plan isn't activated until after the phone is delivered to the customer. In the second scenario, you offer a 1-year support contract and include a 15% discount for the first 3 months to encourage the purchase. You can apply this type of subscription price adjustment in Order Management. And in the third scenario, a customer orders several serialized items on a single order line, but later decides they want coverage for only one of the serial numbers. In this case, you can manage the assets so that coverage applies only to the specific serial in the customer choosing. This graphic summarizes the main setup steps. First, you opt into the feature. Then, you manage administrator profiles, set up pricing rules, set up orchestration, and finally, set up the item. To opt in, go to the sales offering, select Change Features option, and enable the subscription management features you need. There are a few important caveats to remember. To update or cancel a subscription or coverage, you create a new sales order that references the original subscription or coverage. You can revise or cancel an order line in Order Management only when the changes don't affect pricing or subscription details. This feature applies only to order lines that you create after you opt in, and Order Management won't apply it to order lines created before you enable the feature. Also, you can't use this feature with a rate plan that you import through Oracle Pricing REST API services. Instead, you must import the rate plan through the sales order for Orders Hub REST API, and you must price the sales order before you import it. Here are some additional considerations regarding charges. If an order line includes a recurring charge, Order Management adds up only the one-time charges for that line and does not include the recurring charges in the amount field. If the line includes only a recurring charge, the amount field shows 0. This is because the recurring charges apply to a specific time period and the total reflects only what is currently due, even if that period starts later. For each customer, you set up attributes in Oracle Fusion Receivables and Oracle Fusion Pricing. Those customer settings determine what Order Management displays in the Edit Recurring Billing dialog box, and values can vary based on factors like pricing strategy and pricing segmentation. Charge periodicity and billing periodicity don't have a strict one-to-one relationship. For example, you can set up a one-time charge with recurring billing or a recurring charge with one-time billing. You can also set up purely one-time charges. You define charges in Oracle Fusion Pricing. And regarding customer billing, you can also set up recurring billing cycles to meet your sales and revenue requirements. You define billing in Oracle Financials Cloud. In the next topic, we'll talk about the type of information you capture on a sales order. When you use the Create Orders page, you enter details that Order Management uses throughout the fulfillment process. This information is organized into the order header, the order line details, the shipping details, the billing and payment details, and in the sales credit details. The order header captures key customer information, such as contract details and the preferred contact method, as well as the shipping address. It also includes the order date and the customer's purchase order number. In the header, you select the order type, such as a standard order or drop shipment. You can also assign sales credits so that one or more sales representatives receives credit for the order. If applicable, you can enter a sales agreement so that you can track the agreement associated within the order. At the header level, you can assign sales credits to one or more sales representatives for the overall order. If you need more detail, you can also assign sales credit at the order line level so that specific items are credited to specific sales reps. For example, a customer orders 8 servers, 200 pens, and 100 safety labels. You can use the sales credits section on each order line to split credits between the 2 different sales representatives based on the items they sold. On your order, you might need an order representative so approvals follow the right hierarchy. For example, when you import sales orders, order management sets the task creator to the person who performs the import, which is often an administrator. If John Wu imports 1,000 sales orders a day, John becomes the task creator on all of them, even though he isn't part of the approval hierarchy. To avoid that, you can populate the order representative attribute in the sales order import payload so that the order reflects the correct person and maintains the proper approval chain. This is where you enter details for each order line. You can create a sales order using an item's primary unit of measure, and you can also enter a secondary unit of measure as long as it's in the same unit of measure class. Order management can then use standard or item-specific conversions to calculate the secondary quantity automatically. You can also price the order line using either the primary unit of measure or the secondary unit of measure. If you want the pricing date to display, you need to modify the sales service mapping. By default, order management passes the order header's order date through the mapping's priced as of attribute. You update the mapping so that it sends the header's pricing date instead. An automated fulfillment flow updates the order line and invoices it based on the shipped quantity or the shipped secondary quantity. You can view fulfillment tolerances here, but you set them on the Manage Order Management Parameters page or in the item definition in Product Information Management. The demand source line references is an identifier from a source system, such as an e-commerce application. It points to supply that's temporarily reserved in supply orchestration or product information management, and it helps when there's a delay before the order is scheduled, such as waiting for customer approval. You can't change this value in the order management work area, and it's available only when the opt-in feature, temporarily reserved supply, in your source system while shopping or quoting is enabled. Finally, if a customer allows only 1 shipment per order, you can restrict back orders and require any back orders to be canceled to enforce a single shipment. You'll see tax determinants in the order line area, but you control when order management applies the default tax values on the Manage Order Management Parameters page. You can choose to apply defaults when you save the sales order, when you submit the order, a header or line attribute that impacts tax. You can also choose not to apply default tax values at all. You might turn off defaulting if tax was already calculated on an imported sales order, or if you want better performance for a large sales order and don't want to calculate tax as you work. You set this behavior using the Specify When to Determinants parameter. As a note, if you use an order management extension to automatically create order lines when you import sales orders through ADFDI, the extension still sets the default tax values, even if your parameter is set to Set Defaults when you modify attributes. Extensions did not automatically set these default values. Here are some of the key shipping details you can capture on a sales order. Specify the customer's required shipping method and the requested delivery or ship date. You can also indicate whether multiple lines must ship together or whether partial shipments are allowed, which helps when you want to ship available quantities by the requested date quantity isn't ready. You can enter shipping charges along with warehouse and supplier information. You can also specify whether item substitution is allowed if the original item isn't available. If you use dual units of measure, you can track shipping quantities in both units. This field captures the actual delivery date for a shipment after it has been ship confirmed. It's commonly used when a customer contract doesn't allow billing until the goods are delivered to the customer's destination. One important caveat is that you can't change the actual delivery date after the shipment has been sent to Oracle Order Management and the date has been updated on the order's fulfillment line. Here are a few setup points to consider when you need to capture the actual delivery date for a shipment. If your organization needs the delivery date before the order can be moved to invoicing, or if the invoice requires an actual delivery date, you could use an orchestration process that includes a proof of delivery pause after ship confirmation. On the other hand, if you need the actual delivery date to be used as the contract date for coverage items, set the coverage start date for delivery in the Manage Order Management Parameters setup task. To capture the actual delivery date for a shipment, Users need a configured job role that includes the required shipping privileges. The role must include manage shipment, manage shipments and shipment lines, and manage shipment web services. In the billing and payment information section of a sales order, you capture details such as the customer's billing information, payment terms, and payment method, and any subscription information. You can also enter the purchase order number and specify invoicing and accounting rules. This is just a sample of the information available within the section. Before you create a new order, consider copying an existing order that's similar so that you don't have to enter every. You can copy order lines, kits, or configured items such as ATO or PTO items to create a new line, kit, or configured item. To get started, search for the previous order line you want to copy. Here are a couple of things to keep in mind when you copy an order. If the line you're copying includes extensible flex fields, those values will copy as well when the flex fields value when you copy an order line profile option has been enabled. Also, order management can copy a line that belongs to a shipment set, but it does not copy the shipment set name. That means the new line won't be part of a shipment set even if the original line was. Here's a line created by a product transformation rule. If a customer buys the AS54888 computer on line 1, your company offers a free laptop bag on line 2. You can use a product transformation rule to automatically add the laptop bag line when the AS54888 line has been created. There are a few limitations to keep in mind when copying orders and lines. If a line was created by a product transformation rule or by an order management extension, you can't copy that line. You can revise or cancel an order line in order management only if your change doesn't affect pricing or subscription details. If you copy a kit or a PTO configured item, order management copies the lines in that kit or configured item except for lines that are flagged as included items. Also, you can't use this feature with the rate plan that you import through Oracle Pricing REST API services. Instead, you must import the rate plan through the Sales Orders for Orders Hub REST API, and you must price the sales order before you import it. To enhance your understanding of the concepts learned in this lesson, the following practices have been included in your activity guide: ordering a standard item of coverage, ordering a model, viewing fulfillment lines and orchestration plan, and setting up business units for selling profit centers. To wrap up, in this lesson, you learned how to create orders for different types of items. You also learned how to track an order through the different stages of fulfillment. That concludes our lesson.